So we now move to the third part of the, okay, I just forgot this. Okay, third part of the system, and that one is the thyroid. So third one is thyroid gland. Now the thyroid gland is a butterfly shaped bilobed gland over here. It is over here. The thyroid gland is situated over here. The thyroid is a bilobed butterfly shaped structure situated in front of the neck just below the larynx. So below the larynx over here. यहाँ पे आएगा, okay, और ऊपर यहाँ पे नीचे. The two lobes are joined by a narrow isthmus interconnection. It secretes two hormones, thyroxine and calcitonin. So this produces two hormones. One is thyroxine and other one is calcitonin. This is not in syllabus. This was not in syllabus. This is also not in syllabus. This is in syllabus. Thyroxine is very much in the syllabus. Thyroxine regulates the basal metabolism, that is the rate of cellular oxidation resulting in heat production at rest. So your basal metabolism, how it is going to generate the heat of the body. Your body needs to maintain 37 degrees Celsius continuously. So for that it needs to keep on doing some of the other muscular activities which is going to maintain that thing. So basal metabolism को sustain करने के लिए whatever is the hormone required by the body is called as thyroxine. An increase in the secretion increases metabolism and a decrease in secretion lowers it. It also influences the general growth of the body, ossification of bones, body temperature, mental development, etc. So यह मेटाबॉलिज्म का ही डायरेक्ट कनेक्शन है. तो अगर इसका थायरॉक्सिन का सिक्रीशन कम हुआ तो मेटाबॉलिज्म कम. So automatically what will happen? If there is low metabolism, that means the body will start having more fats, okay, and they will be not geared up properly, too tired always, right? And if the it is hyper secretion, if this particular thyroxine is hyper, that is more amount of secretion of the thing, then it will be causing problems of more metabolism. Okay, the metabolism is higher, so it will be thinned down completely. Okay, so first of all, let's understand undersecretion or hypothyroidism. Insufficient secretion of thyroxine may lead to three conditions. So there are three conditions which can be there when there is an insufficient secretion of thyroid. Now most of the people they will be having this kind of a hyposecretion, hypothyroidism, because the level of thyroxine in the body is less. So that is going to cause three kind of problems. First one is simple goiter. Now simple goiter is the enlargement of the thyroid is visible as a swelling in the neck. So there will be a swelling in the neck. ये पूरा part जो है swelling हो जाएगा. So there will be swelling in the neck. This is due to inefficient quantity of iodine in the food. This condition is common in people in the hilly region where iodine is deficient in soil and hence in food grown there. So iodine is a very important content, or you can say ingredient of thyroxine. So if iodine is less in the body, if the iodine intake is less in the body, then thyroxine production automatically is getting affected. So because of the effect of this particular effect, there is going to be simple goiter. So the people who are in the hilly region normally have this problem, because in the hilly region the soil or the water does not contain that much amount of iodine in them, and that's why they are having a deficiency of iodine. That's why they will be having a deficiency of thyroxine in their body, and accordingly they will be suffering from simple goiter, which will be the swelling of the neck part of the body. So that is the simple goiter. Thyroid deficiencies are common in many parts of India. Use of iodized salt containing iodine in food is recommended because iodine is the active ingredient in production of thyroxine. So we know very well that because in the hilly region if this problem is there, so that's why what they prefer is that Tata namak, iodized namak. You always find that the salt packets nowadays, they will always be given as iodized salts. Why is it iodized salt? Because it will automatically be giving you, so intake of that salt automatically helps the body to generate thyroxine. The second one is cretinism. It is a condition which affects the growth of children, showing dwarfism and mental retardation. This is due to the deficiency developed or early atrophy, degeneration of the thyroid. So if it is in kids, it is in very small kids, okay, children. So when the hyposecretion of the thyroid gland, so hypothyroidism is there in case of children, they will be suffering from a disease called cretinism, that is wherein the person will be dwarf, means his or her height will not be so much, it will be, and also it causes mental retardation. That means he will not be mad, but the thing is that he will be having a growth, the mental growth will be slightly delayed. So that's why he will be having problems, and or will be just say like dyslexia जैसा problem सब हो सकता है. Okay, so it will be slightly problem with the mental retardation. And in case of adult, it is myxedema. Myxedema is a condition that affects an adult if his thyroid does not function properly. In this condition, the person becomes sluggish with swelling of the face and hands. Okay, it's very common in India also. So, जहाँ पे face gets enlarged because of the swelling, the hands get that swelling. So due to the water retention, there will be swelling of and the person will automatically become sluggish. And if he tries to do something, there will be cramps coming up to the muscles. So these are some symptoms of the hypothyroidism in case of adults, which is called as myxedema. Next is oversecretion. Suppose the secretion of the thyroid is more than the required one, then it will be oversecretion or hypersecretion of thyroid, that is hyperthyroidism. Excess of thyroxine secretion may also cause a kind of goiter called exothalamic goiter. Okay, so exothalamic goiter, what was simple goiter which was for hyposecretion. Hypersecretion is exothalamic goiter, that is outward ophthalmic, it is like related to eye. So it is exothalamic is nothing but related to the eye. So eye will start protruding outwards. So when the eye starts protruding outwards, that is the condition which is called as exothalamic goiter. A person having a problem of oversecretion shows a marked increase in metabolic rates. His metabolic rate is very high. So the marked increase in that, and hence he will be having a rapid heartbeat, shortness in breath. Okay, he'll be because of the rapid heartbeat, but he actually ऐसा नहीं है, उसको ज़रूरत नहीं है, फिर भी इसलिए क्या होगा, heartbeat is fast, so automatically he'll be panting continuously, so it'll be shortness of breath. Eyes are protruded and forms a goiter in the neck. So of course there will be goiter in the neck, but it will be eyes will be protruding out. So accordingly, we see that improper functioning of the thyroid will be hypothyroidism, will be undersecretion, causes simple goiter, enlargement of thyroid, cretinism, dwarfism and mental retardation in children, myxedema, swelling in face and hands, and sluggishness, and hypothyroidism, oversecretion is exothalamic goiter, which is protruding eyes, increased metabolism, shortness of breath, and restlessness. So you can see the condition over here. The A is a normal goat, whereas B is a goat whose thyroid glands were removed. So the one which has got the hypothyroidism will be forming dwarfism. That is what they are shown in the goat over there in the figure. We now move to the last part of the chapter, that is the pituitary gland. So the fourth part, that is the pituitary gland. So pituitary gland has got many functions. In fact, pituitary gland is also called as a master gland, because pituitary gland is the gland which is going to control other glands. See, it is this way: the pituitary gland controls even the thyroid gland. Pituitary gland is going to stimulate some kind of enzyme which is going to stimulate the thyroid gland, and hence the thyroxine is going to be produced. यानी हर एक चीज को कितना क्या सप्लाई करना है, कितना हार्मोन जनरेट करना है, वो सब, okay, the complete control of how much amount of hormone is to be generated by each and every gland is going to be somewhere controlled by the pituitary gland. Hence we can say that pituitary gland is also called as a master gland. So the pituitary gland is a small projection about the size of a pea matter, okay, very small, just a small size thing which is there under the cerebrum, which hangs from the base of the midbrain below hypothalamus. It is popularly called master gland because it seems to control practically all the other endocrine glands. The pituitary gland has two distinct lobes, the anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary. Okay, the front part and the back part. The front part and back part, anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary. The entire pituitary gland weighs about half a gram. You can see it's a matter है, इतना छोटा सा pea का दाना है, okay, इतना छोटा सा part है, तो what will be its weight? Half a gram. It's just half a gram, but very, very, very important. The front part of the posterior pituitary is different from the rest of the lobe and is called as the intermediate lobe. The intermediate lobe is almost absent in humans but much larger and more function in some smaller lower animals. So we have got the front part. So front part of the posterior is different from the rest of the lobe and is called as the intermediate lobe. Now the hormones from the anterior pituitary gland. So we have got over the pituitary gland into two parts. So first one is the anterior and the next one is posterior. Okay, so we have got the two glands, two sides, anterior and the posterior. So let's see first the anterior ones. Some important hormones produced by the anterior lobes are as follows. Growth hormone, that is GH. So first one is growth hormone, GH. Obviously, what does it do? Growth. Okay. So it is essential for the normal growth. It is also called somatotropic or the stimulating tropic. Tropic means stimulating. So somatotropic means जो somatotropic को जो stimulate करेगा, that is the growth hormone. So it is essential for the normal growth of the body. The deficiency of GH in childhood results in dwarfism. A dwarf, though fully developed, retains body proportion of a child. So we know what is a dwarf. So that dwarfism is also due to the growth hormone, that is the pituitary gland not functioning properly, and there is a hyposecretion of growth hormone. The oversecretion in childhood results in gigantism. The long bones lengthen beyond normal and human giants up to 2.5 meters in height are produced. So in case of childhood, may agar samjho there is an oversecretion of the growth hormone, then the child becomes like a giant. Okay, that's why it is called as gigantism. So it becomes where he will be having long bones and will be lengthened beyond normal, and they will be like something similar to Khali, the great Khali जो wrestler है Indian, तो उसके जैसा वैसा, तो with like abnormal growth of the body which is too tall. Not that he is just tall, he is having some kind of a abnormalism in it. If oversecretion of growth hormone suddenly occurs in an adult, there is an extra growth of bones in the face, particular jaw. I think Khali would be suffering from this part much more than the gigantism, because if not in the childhood, this is the layout, because the jaw वगैरह जो उसका face है, it is like overgrowth over the jaw. You know, it is quite a peculiar thing. So if oversecretion of growth suddenly occurs in the adult, there is an extra growth of bones in the jaw, particularly in the face, particularly the jaw, and in the hands and legs. The person develops a large nose and thick lips. This condition is called as acromegaly. That is, acro means height, extremities, and amegaly means large. So that was about the growth hormone. So first thing was growth hormone. The second is thyroid stimulating hormone. So next one is TSH, that is thyroid stimulating hormone. It will, of course, what it will do, stimulate the thyroid gland to give out the thyroxine. So thyroid stimulating hormone activates the thyroid to secrete thyroxine. The third is gonad stimulating hormones regulates the activity of testes and ovaries. So that is gonad stimulating hormone. Okay, gonads, which is gonads are the sex cells, which are the testes and the ovaries. So testes in case of males and ovaries in case of females. So stimulating those cells is the function of the gonad stimulating hormone. And last one is adrenocorticotropic hormone. So that is ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone. यानी एड्रिनल ग्लैंड के कॉर्टिसन्स को एक्टिवेट करने वाला हार्मोन. So it is like adrenocorticotropic hormone. Tropic means stimulating. So that's why it is nothing but regulates the activity of adrenal cortex. So adrenal cortex का activity को activate करने के लिए, stimulate करने के लिए, you have got this ACTH. The term tropic hormone refers to such hormones which stimulate other endocrine glands to produce their specific hormones, such as gonadotropic hormone secreted by the anterior pituitary, and some also stimulates gonads to produce certain hormones. Tropic means influencing the activity of the named organ, such as the thyrotropic or for thyroid, adrenocorticotropic for adrenocortex, etc. So whenever you have got anything like some tropic hormone, it means it is going to stimulate that particular. It is a hormone which is going to stimulate the particular endocrine gland for secreting the required hormone of that particular gland. So that is why it is tropic hormone. Now we move on to the next part, and that is the posterior pituitary gland. So the posterior pituitary gland, the first one, it produces two hormones named as vasopressin and oxytocin. So it is vasopressin and oxytocin. Okay. Vasopressin is also called as ADH, that is antidiuretic hormone. Antidiuretic hormone, diuretic means water content. So the antidiuretic hormone, also called as vasopressin, constrict blood vessels with rise in blood pressure. It also acts on the kidney, increasing reabsorption of water from the kidney tubules. Deficiency of ADH causes diabetes insipidus, water diabetes, in which urination is frequent and copious, resulting in loss of water from the body and person becoming thirsty. See, what happens is that the antidiuretic hormone is going to produce a kind of an effect on the kidney to do the reabsorption. So if the reabsorption is proper, then the blood constituents remain normal. But if the reabsorption is more, why is that so? When the antidiuretic hormone is less, if there is a hyposecretion of ADH. If there is a hyposecretion of ADH, there is a deficiency of ADH, it is going to give rise to the decrease in the reabsorption of the tape. So when there is a decrease in the reabsorption, automatically what will happen? There will be more amount of water loss from the body, means there will be more urination taking place. So more urination means more water loss taking place in the body. So that's why the person will be feeling more thirsty. So that is why it is called as diabetes insipidus. Diabetes means passing out excessive amount of urine. The two types of diabetes is diabetes mellitus. The urine contains sugar caused due to the insufficient insulin. But in diabetes insipidus, there is no sugar in the urine. But insipidus means tasteless, blank, referring to the absence of sugar in urine. And mellitus means honey. The next one is oxytocin. It stimulates vigorous contraction of the uterus in the pregnant mother, leading to the birth of the baby. Also stimulates milk ejection. So yeah, that is oxytocin is going to be there only in females, and that is when it is going to be activated in the pregnant female. Now, when the lady is pregnant and she is about to deliver the baby, at that time the oxytocin is going to be increased, and that increase will be allowing more expansion of the muscles of the uterus. So uterine muscles are going to be vigorous contraction, not expansion, contraction of the vaginal muscle, so that it can push the baby outwards. So there will be vigorous contraction of the uterus in the pregnant mother, and leading to the birth of the baby. And also it stimulates milk ejection. So the mammary glands of the female are going to start secreting the milk, and hence the milk ejection is going to be taken. Mammary glands ka activation is also going to be done with the help of oxytocin. So these are the two hormones of the posterior pituitary, vasopressin and oxytocin. So in a way we can see that anterior pituitary gland contains, first is growth hormone, promotes growth of the whole body, particularly of the skeleton. The deficiency in childhood will cause dwarfism, and excess in childhood becomes gigantism, in adult is acromegaly. Tropic hormones stimulate certain other secreting endocrine glands, that is thyroid stimulating hormone stimulates the thyroid to secrete thyroxine. Adrenocorticotropic hormone ACTH stimulates adrenal cortex. Gonadotropic hormones, it regulates the activity of the gonad, testes and ovaries. These are mainly three types. Follicle stimulating hormone FSH. When we study the reproductive system, at that time the FSH का थोड़ा हम लोग को idea आ जाएगा. That is, the stimulates egg formation in the female and sperm formation in males. That is follicle stimulating hormone. Luteinizing hormone stimulates the formation of corpus luteum. So what is corpus luteum? We understand it in the reproductive part. To produce the female hormone progesterone, and testes to produce the male hormone testosterone, and prolactic, that is milk secretion. Posterior pituitary causes antidiuretic hormone or vasopressin, increases reabsorption of water from kidney tubules, deficiency, diabetes, insipidus, water diabetes. And oxytocin is uterus contraction during childbirth, stimulating milk ejection. Okay, so these are the major kind of the functions of the hormones produced by the pituitary gland, anterior and posterior. Now, how does this work of the secretion takes place? Now, it is going to be done with the help of feedback mechanism. The body is going to understand certain kind of the levels, and accordingly it is going to stimulate the pituitary, and the pituitary will stimulate the required gland. So that is called as a negative feedback mechanism. Okay, so it will be that always our body works on a negative feedback mechanism. यानी वो कम हुआ तो इसको जनरेट करो, और अगर वो ज़्यादा हुआ तो कम करो. So our body is operating, the most of the part of our body are operating on negative feedback mechanism. Means if whatever is the condition, we are going to do the opposite of that. अगर the condition of glucose content बढ़ गया तो हम लोग insulin content बढ़ा, है ना. If the glucose का बढ़ गया तो automatically what we'll do, we'll just try to decrease that thing. So let's see this thing, we'll understand it much better. Commands like too much, slow down, too little, speed up. These are feedback mechanisms. That means there is too much, so slow down. You're going too fast, so you slow down. Or you're getting too much, it's too slow, you speed up. So these are the kind of mechanisms. So यानी क्या है, whatever you are doing, if you are doing too high, then you doing opposite of it. When you are going too low, then you do the opposite of it. Means that is the feedback mechanism. The body has mechanism to maintain a normal state. Whenever there is a change in the state, there is message through the body system to increase if there is a fall below the normal, or to decrease if there is a rise above the normal. This kind of ordering for the opposite is negative feedback to restore the normal state. Most feedback mechanisms in our body are of this negative type. Example, TSH. यानी TSH क्या है? Thyroid stimulating hormone. So what happens? Body requires more, metabolism required is more, so automatically TSH will and what will it do? यानी body में level कम है, इसीलिए TSH बढ़ेगा. और अगर बॉडी का मेटाबॉलिज्म ज़्यादा है तो TSH अपने आप कम हो जाएगा. Okay, so that is negative. What is a positive feedback mechanism? It is normally done only mainly the one most easiest example of positive feedback mechanism is of the oxytocin. The oxytocin works on positive feedback mechanism. यानी क्योंकि उसमें क्या है जितना ज़्यादा ऑक्सीटोसिन उतना ज़्यादा contraction of the uterus muscles so that the childbirth is given out more easily. So that's why it is positive. जितना ज़्यादा content हुआ और बढ़ाओ और pressure है और बढ़ाओ. So that is what is positive feedback mechanism. Positive feedback mechanism are very few. One example is of the uterine contraction during childbirth. Normal state of uterus is uncontracted. One contraction instead of commanding to come to normal. So when there is a condition where there is a command to contract, at that time it is not going to come to normal. It is going to keep on increasing that contraction. Okay. So gives a message to continue to contract further. This is called a positive mechanism for delivery is till the delivery is completed. So this is an example over here of the negative feedback mechanism. So we see over here that the hypothalamus in the TSH, what happens is the hypothalamus, the thyroid releases the TSH, thyroid releasing hormone. Hypothalamus is going to have the thyroid releasing hormone, which stimulates the anterior pituitary to produce the TSH. Okay, anterior pituitary. So anterior pituitary, that this thyroid stimulating hormone is going to be producing and hence stimulates thyroid gland to secrete the thyroxine, and the thyroxine is going to produce. The thyroid gland is going to produce more amount of thyroxine. Now, if what will happen? Negative feedback inhibits the release of TSH. So, अगर feedback ऐसा है कि body के अंदर level of TSH is more or the level of thyroxine is more, then what will happen? It will decrease. अगर वो ज़्यादा है तो it will decrease. It will decrease. It will tell the TSH to decrease its level, so the thyroxine level is down. If it is more, then what will happen? If the content of the thyroxine content in the body is less, then what happens? It tells the DRH, that is the thyroid releasing hormone, to push again. तो thyroid वो hypothalamus को बोले अरे अभी भी कमी है और secrete करने बोलो उसको. Got it? So thyroxine level को maintain करने के लिए you have got the negative feedback mechanism. कम है तो बढ़ाओ उसको, कम है और बढ़ाओ, नहीं और भी कम है और बढ़ाओ, पर अगर ज़्यादा है तो भी कम करो, ज़्यादा है तो और कम करो, ऐसे करके that is a negative feedback mechanism, opposite mechanism. When the level of the thyroxine concentration exceeds the normal level in the blood, then it inhibits the secretion of TRH by hypothalamus and the secretion of TSH from the anterior pituitary gland. So the hormones at the glands, so we have this particular thing because it's most important part of the chapter, so which you can easily learn also. So you can see adrenal cortex में hormone secreted is the mineralocorticoids, then the glucocorticoids and the sex corticoids. Mineralocorticoids regulates the plasma sodium and potassium concentration. Glucocorticoid and also undersecretion causes Addison disease and oversecretion causes adrenal pituitarism. Glucocorticoids, they are going to regulate the carbohydrates, lipids and protein metabolism, and sex corticoids stimulates development of external sex characteristics in males and causes stimulation of sympathetic nervous system repairs for that was for adrenaline. So in case of adrenal medulla, it produces adrenaline and it is going to cause stimulation of the sympathetic nervous system, prepares body for emergency. Pancreas, islet of Langerhans, has got beta cells which produce insulin, lowers blood sugar level, causes diabetes mellitus in undersecretion. Alpha cells, glucagon, raises blood sugar level. Delta cells, somatostatin, inhibits secretion of insulin and glucagon. Thyroid produces thyroxine, promotes tissue metabolism, growth and differentiation. Disorders में undersecretion में तीन चीज, simple goiter, cretinism in children and myxedema in adults. Oversecretion, exothalamic goiter, eyeballs protruding, increasing metabolism and restlessness. Calcitocin promotes the movement of calcium ions from blood to bones. Pituitary, anterior pituitary has got growth hormones, that is body growth. If it is oversecretion, then undersecretion, dwarfism, oversecretion, gigantism in childhood or acromegaly in adults. Prolactin promotes lactation, milk formation and secretion. Adrenocorticotropic hormone, ACTH, that is secretion of adrenal cortex. Pigmentation in case of Addison disease is caused due to that, due to oversecretion of that. Thyroid stimulating hormone, TSH, stimulates thyroxine secretion. Follicle stimulating hormone in female, growth of graphene follicle and estrogen secretion. In males, spermatogenesis. Luteinizing hormone in female, ovulation, maintenance of corpus luteum and secretion of progesterone. In male, testosterone secretion. Posterior and pituitary, vasopressin, that is increased reabsorption of water from kidney, contraction of blood vessels causing rise in blood pressure, diabetes insipidus for undersecretion and elevation of blood pressure in oversecretion. Oxytocin causes contraction of uterine muscles during childbirth. So these were the different kind of hormones in a glance. So that's the end of the chapter, endocrine system. Okay, quite an easy chapter, but very important. So just go through that, and if you have any doubts, let me know. Thank you.